Welcome to Bit Boy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. This is Around the Blockchain. I'm your host, DZ. We come to you Monday through Friday at 5:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We were a little bit late today, and he isn't even in the building, but we're going to blame BJ. I think that's about right, Frank. I don't know if your mic's set up, but are we just going to go with this was BJ's fault?
That is 100% correct.
All right, it's 100% correct. You heard it there. All right, so yeah, we have a great episode. We're going to talk about Facebook crypto exodus. They're having all their lead techs disappear. We got the Bitcoin bulls holding strong. And why does ETH want to pop? Yes, perhaps the camera was set for short mode, and now we're back. All right, now we're back to a good level here. All right, so there's two people standing by. They make Frank get up from the controlling desk. You know, and we got the peanut gallery just watching them. Anyways, man, I had to defend you there for a second. All right, we got a great panel today. We're going to start off with HackCrypto. First time we've actually done an episode together, so I'm looking forward to this one. We also have CryptoJebb. Make sure you don't check out his upcoming videos because some of them might trigger fans of certain coins. We're not going to get into the specifics there, but I'm telling you that so you can go in there and give him a thumbs up in there. Also, we have CryptoKeeper. Maybe going to start popping up regularly out here on Tuesdays. And big news for JChains, a.k.a. Ruthless J, a brand new father. That's why he wasn't hosting. I mean, I guess if you're going to take off work, you know, a human being born is a good, I won't even say excuse. We'll say it's a reason. So congrats on that, man. Real quick, you know, just keep it on you for a second. Are you feeling any different here? I mean, was it like a night and day difference? You know, are you all soft and mushy on the inside?
Soft and mushy. I am in love with my daughter. She's so cute. She's so special. She changed my life immediately. Absolutely.
How small was she? Like, what were you looking at? Was it like looking at you? I mean, this could have came out like 10-pound head or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that's what I was afraid of. I have a large head, so I was hoping that she wouldn't get that from me, which she didn't. She got her mom's body. She's a petite little thing. She was like 6 pounds, little tiny baby. She's so cute,
congrats.
Man. I love her.
Congrats. If you like the sanctity of life, make sure you go ahead and give us a like in the comments here. And I'm trying to pull up the YouTube comments and the Twitch comments today. So yeah, we got an evening Twitch stream. That is right. Stinky Colas. There's one thing I miss about Twitch. It's the names. The names are always fantastic. All right, well, yeah, let's first check out Coin Market Cap. It's been quite an eventful week. We have Bitcoin starting to get a little bit lower. It's looking, I don't want to say scary, but you know, we are heating up, and it was heating up fast. So we had a fantastic run up for the first 12 days of October. So you know, a little cooling down. You know, there's nothing wrong with that. Ethereum. People are saying, oh, you know, Bitcoin's pumping. How come Ethereum isn't following? Well, when Bitcoin's dumping and then all of a sudden Ethereum's not dumping, well, you know, maybe it's good that they're not totally correlated assets there. BNB having a really good day. I'm glad I pulled out of most of my Binance alts there. So consolidated in BNB. Looked like it was a good move. And we have Solana. Solana has been a laggard the last few days, so it's good to see that it's back in the green. If we look at the top gainers and losers, Ravane, you always see it up there. It's always doing something, acting a little funny there. We have Waves, OMG, also a really good song by Usher. We have Axie Infinity. I mean, we've seen a lot of news about that. They're still continuing to just be gigantic. Look at some of the losers. Crow. Not talking about Bruce Lee's son here, who tragically died in that accident on set. No, we're talking about Crypto.com. It's down a little bit. IOTA, Arweave. I mean, we're seeing some of the same names. Although I do like, you know what? It's okay that BSV is down. I don't want to celebrate it, but sometimes that is a scary coin to see pumping. Typically, Bitcoin, there's a dump in the works. A lot of people are just, you know, putting their Bitcoin profits. So, but let's just get right into the first topic. We started a little bit late. We have a Facebook crypto exodus. We had some of the top engineers of Facebook's wallet dip out. And I'm not even going to try to say their names. I actually wanted to pull up my screen just so you can see that I'm not trying to troll or anything here, as BJ would say. So we had a Nassim and a Riaz. Man, I mean, is this a prank? I honestly don't even want to try to pronounce that. But yeah, that's a lot of that's a lot of vowels in a row. And then that's a lot of vowels. I don't know what to say. So those two left. I mean, I just want to say it's Nassim and Riaz. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't want to be disrespectful for, you know, bastardizing those names there. But yeah, they're leaving. They're leaving Facebook's team, and they're going to go work for Andreessen also known as A16. Andreessen, they got their fingers and everything. I mean, it's almost insane. I mean, they're invested in Bitcoin to Coinbase to Dapper Labs to OpenSea. It's not just crypto. I mean, they're like early investor for Uber, Airbnb. I mean, they're definitely smart people. It's Mark Andreessen, the other guy's Horowitz. So they're losing techs, they're losing devs. These engineers, they're running away from Facebook and they're going to these other projects. It wasn't just this one. This seems to be a trend. We've seen it before. Now, CryptoKeeper, I guess we're roughly around the same age, so I want to bring it to you. Do you think that they see the writing on the wall and they think Facebook is the next MySpace? Are they leaving a sinking ship, or is this more just, maybe about money and this isn't bad news for Facebook?
So I don't think it's about it being a sinking ship. I think more what I would see is, as you look at it and you wonder, you say, okay, why is this happening? Are there things going on in the background that we don't know about yet? I.e., yeah, things just magically shut down recently and everything just, disappearing, right? Is the wallet project actually failing? Do they not approve of some of the invasion of privacy that Facebook is all about and that we all know that they're about? Is there something going into the coding on this project that basically invades our privacy even more? I would actually question what is actually just going on that we can't see, because I think too many times people leave over real world issues that they're not allowed to actually speak about. And if you look at some of the articles, they don't get into any of the specifics. It's just, hey, we went over here. They gave you the political answer and said we had a huge opportunity. We didn't want to pass it up, blah, blah, blah. When in reality, I think they know that if they talk bad about Mr. Zuckerberg, it is all over for them. And so, yeah, I have to wonder what's going on in the background. That's more where I'm
talk bad about Mr. Zuckerberg, you might end up getting grilled.
Yeah.
Verbally, of course, not grilled with his meats. I didn't mean that way. Now, JChains, you're around then. I mean, you had a MySpace, right?
Yeah.
All right. What would you consider worse indicator? Would you say, Facebook losing techs and devs is a bad sign? Or if, say they came out and said, oh, growth is slow, 10%. But what do you see as a more alarming factor here? Like they're losing their employees, or, if their growth slowed down a little bit?
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, man, like I feel very biased about this whole situation. I hate Facebook. I hate Facebook with a passion. I dumped it several years ago. I have to use it for some of the stuff that I do for work for Marketplace only. So I set myself up with just a stupid account to be able to use Marketplace. But I think that losing some high-ranking devs is a telling sign of something's going wrong. And much like Keeper said, man, like what's going on behind closed doors that they can't say, and then that's why they're leaving. Because I mean, we all know, we've all worked in corporations or in business before and know that, if there is a non-amicable split, you have to go about a diplomatic way of announcing this. It just kind of happened that way, or this is the way, we're moving in a different direction, whatever. So that something bad's happened or is happening. And these guys said, no, man, we're done. Obviously Libra wasn't a thing. So let's move on to something that's working. And I think they're hopefully going to get this right with their new positions.
Yeah, this Twitch chat, y'all are being hilarious here. Tom was my first internet friend. Mine too. I actually have a funny story about Tom. I first opened MySpace. I said, this is weird. This guy is just, I don't like this. So I deleted him or removed him as a friend. But then after 12 hours, I was like, oh, it's everybody's friends. Oh, this is kind of a thing. Oh, so let me send a friend request. And then it just languished in his inbox. So I actually didn't have the Tom thumbs up guy as a friend because I got weirded out and deleted him. So the whole time I had MySpace, I was like, man, I wish he'd accept my friend request. But yeah.
Did you have Tila Tequila as one of your friends?
Oh,
yeah,
no.
I mean, yeah. I followed her. She was in my top 8. What are you talking about? So, yeah, I would love MySpace to make a comeback. I could organize my top 5 according to cryptos they support. I could think of a few coins where I'm sure that's it would be an echo chamber, but we won't get into specifics or call out some of these coins. Now, Hack, I want to ask you this. There seemed to be a little bit of fishiness. There's almost like a shady thing going on. So Andreessen Horowitz, these techs, they went to that company. Well, Mark Andreessen is on Facebook's board of directors. So do you think, was it shady to you that, that a board member was, in a sense, poaching these employees? Like, what were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I like thinking of this headline specifically as kind of the future of work. It's actually kind of transpiring where you have these brilliant people, whether Andreessen has invested in them or any other smart fund, they're moving away into like a decentralized way of work. And I talked to a company called PiDAO about this like a couple of weeks ago. And essentially, people are able to work for a decentralized organization. They can contribute quantifiable work. And as an engineer, that's literally lines of code. So anybody watching this that is a programmer, you could go and work full time, stake your payment, and make more money. So I think beyond work, these engineers are noticing like, oh, I can actually just go and work for a decentralized organization, do whatever I want, contribute value, and make 5 times as much as I would and have full freedom and work from anywhere and contribute in a creative way. So I think that it is a positive way that we're seeing this shift to a new way of working for engineers out there and the smartest that are coming from some of these FANG companies. But yeah, Andreessen does have their hands in quite a bit. That's a testament to them being smart investors, but also at the same time, they are a little bit centralized in the way that they're holding on to things. So I'd be curious if A16Z is going to do anything about changing their fund structure. Because if they're truly a crypto fund, they're going to do it in a DAO, I think. But we shall see how that.
Okay, so to you, it's not so much of a shady business tactic. This is just kind of par for the course in the direction we're heading. Mostly a gig economy, and it's not just an Uber driver. This is also coders and some of the high end positions as well. So I had to delete DZ from my MySpace. William Pierce, yeah, that checks out. I remember you, Bill. I remember you. So last question now. I'm a sandbag you, Jebb, because you have high points already. Now, clearly, Ivan on Tech had it right. We should all just be learning coding. That's where everything is definitely heading. But Libra is supposed to something they announced years ago. It's just been in development, purgatory for it seems like a long time. Does this lower your opinion of Libra, or was that just like so low already? We're already at the floor.
Frankly, I never had a very high opinion of Libra in the first place, so it doesn't change a whole lot. We could sit here and talk for an hour about Libra. I don't think that's... The thing about Libra is I don't like that Facebook is doing it. Anything that Facebook gets their hands on, I'm kind of on the same page as a lot of the other panelists here. I'm not the biggest fan of Facebook. Like, it's okay, but we've seen a lot of issues concerning privacy. But the thing I'm really interested in here is A16 Andreessen. I think he's going to be getting something that is very, very important, and that's talent. I'm a CEO of our company. We have 10 employees. I have 10 employees, like 7 full-time contractors who work with us to run our channel. So I know a little bit about how important talent is. We were actually just having our quarterly planning meeting, and one of the things that we said was a big strength of our team is, hey, we have team members that are super committed, super excited. They're very humble. They're very workable. We have a great team, right? Culture in a company is incredibly important. And the issue that Facebook has run into is their whole move fast and break things attitude has caused them to move very fast to the top 25 most valuable companies in the planet while also breaking the trust of their customers. And they've also kind of broken their own culture. And I think a lot of people are leaving Facebook because they don't trust Facebook internally or externally. So I think they're really trying to branch out into these other fields like Oculus and Instagram and all these different holdings that they have. And what they're doing is they're losing key talent. So it's not surprising to me from the perspective of cryptocurrency that we're having people leave centralized organizations like Facebook that are kind of antithetical to what we mean, that what we stand for in cryptocurrency. It's not surprising to me that people are moving in the direction of crypto in the first place, but it's also not surprising on the other facet that Facebook broke the trust of the vast majority of their own staff and their own customer base, and they're losing talent because of it. And money is not what's most important in business. People are what's most important in business, and Facebook has killed the trust, which is what's most important to retaining people.
I like that as pithy. Move fast, break things, and yeah, they did that in spades for sure. All right, well, let's get to our second topic here. Bitcoin bulls holding strong. Now, we bring up on-chain metrics, and sometimes it can go over the head of some of our viewers, but some of this data is just very, very, very not alarming, very bullish, very, very bullish. So right now we have Bitcoin wallets that haven't seen outflows, and it's over 5 months. It's 155 days. Now this is just think about it, you know, it's a little bit less than half of a year. So almost 6 months here. And right now they're sitting on 3/4 of $1 trillion. And this is Bitcoin that hasn't been moving lately. Now, the long-term holders, they've increased over the 7 months 2.3 million Bitcoin over the last 7 months. This is what these long-term holders have accumulated. 2.3 million Bitcoin. They've only made 186,000 Bitcoin. So that's for the third topic. But so they've accumulated over almost 13 times the amount of Bitcoin that has been mined, that has been produced on a daily basis. So whatever Bitcoin is being made, these whales, these long-term holders are gobbling up over a dozen times as much. Now, I mean, this is a huge thing, you know. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, these Bitcoin whales, they're front-running an ETF announcement this month. There's another camp saying, you know, this is anticipation of a November, December rally. You know, maybe it's a combination. But JChains, what camp do you think that these whales are, you know, is it they just picture something really big happening towards the end of the year? Or, you know, do you think there's some inside information going on here?
Well, I would definitely say that the whales that, I think in the report, it said something about these Bitcoin that haven't moved. There's like almost 13.5 million of them. I mean, that's, you got to think like a big portion of the supply, right? Yeah. So this isn't a coincidence. This isn't just happening because there is something about ready to go down. And we all know it. We feel the energy in the markets. I mean, you look at some of these dips and rips. I mean, they happen so fast. Something is happening. It's going to happen soon, and it's going to be incredible. So I'm of the camp that says this is premeditated. They know what's happening. So pack your bags because we're going to the moon. Moon boys and Lambo boys, we're back. I
mean, accumulating, you know, 13 times the amount that's minted every day, and you look at 7 months of this happening. Yeah, I mean, it's probably some price action is going to be happening. Now, HackCrypto, I've asked a few guests, and you know, it's the first time we've been on together, so I want to point this your way. Some people say, you know, whales cause the price action. Other people say the price action happens and the whales follow. Where do you sit in the camp? How much power do you ascribe to the whales?
I think that leverage is newer to the crypto space, and that's why all these huge sharp ups and sharps down moves, because people are really using way more leverage than ever before. So I'd put more of the blame and the sharp up and down with leverage trading. But in terms of the whales, you know, I follow the whale bot on Twitter. I love the fact that those bots exist to give transparency to like big transactions. And I think I said this on the last time I was on stream, was about what would happen if those whale bots existed and JP Morgan was using, you know, the blockchain to transact, and those were going crazy every day showing where they were sending their money. It would just bring this crazy transparency to the world that I think it would really kind of blow some minds to see how much money they're moving around in value. And on this thread, bitcoinisdead.org, if you guys haven't had a chance to check out that URL, you should definitely give that a check-see, because I've been in the space since 2013, and that site is one of the best resources because it actually tracks the times that people have said that it's going to die. And interestingly enough, to JChain's point for packing our bags for the moon, Bitcoin hasn't had a death call this month so far, which is one of the first months in history that, you know, there hasn't been a Bitcoin is dead headline going out and around. So definitely check that website out. It's a fantastic resource for just people basically calling Bitcoin a death spiral, and it's going to go to zero. And it's kind of a funny way of looking at it.
Yeah. We'll definitely wait and see. Yeah, definitely check out that site. Now, I do want to read. Miller Time just said, "How's JChains not doing beer commercials?" I don't know. Are you Miller? Are you representing Miller? So I'm sure I'm sure he's open. He's not the one breastfeeding. He'll be okay. Now,
yeah. Crypto, sign me up. Get me an agent. I want to do some beer commercials.
All right. Sounds good. He is a voice actor, everybody. Now, CryptoKeeper. We have these whales over the last, you know, more than a half of a year. They're accumulating over a dozen times the amount that is being created. Now, as we start to head, you know, towards that bearish winter, do you think that they're going to dump 12 times the amount that is being mined on a daily basis? Or is this like more of a long-term accumulation strategy?
Oh, you know what? Jebb and I were just talking about this before the stream, and I think that there's a couple different camps that people fall into. The camp that I fall into is more. I think that the bear market is going to be more derived from something falling and breaking apart in our economy. I just feel like I understand that there is that the government is able to play a very nice game of teeter totter, right? But I think that we're at a point where everything is just about to bubble over. Everything is about to boil over. Now, to Jebb's point earlier today, he said, you know, everybody's been talking about this for so long. When's it actually going to come to fruition? And so I love the idea that that will never come to fruition. But I have been around for a few years, right? I do remember 2008. I feel like we have 2008 coming and then some right now.
I agree.
And so, yeah, and I think it's going to be crazy when this does happen. When it happens, I think it's going to be crazy. But the timeline on it is the real question mark, right? Because I do believe, and I believe this wholeheartedly, that this is very coordinated. I believe that there are lots and lots of dinner parties where these whales are sitting down, having conversations, because let's be real, there's nothing that says they can't do it. And until these regulations come out and actually, you know, say, hey, look, you can do this, 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 and this, like it says in the stock market, until that happens, those dinner parties that I'm calling them are going to be happening a lot. And I just, I don't know. I'd like to say I could toss a month on it, toss the time on it. But when it does happen, it is going to happen with a vengeance. It is going to happen.
Yeah, I agree. I think there are, you know, some like, you know, smoky dens with, you know, expensive ornate tables, some whales sitting
like
around.
Pictures of dogs playing poker, you know.
Yeah, and then they go
for
hunt
sure.
humans, probably, you know, they find a homeless guy or something. But obviously I'm joking. Obviously I'm joking. Now,
Squid Game, huh?
Jebb, you know, let's talk about the other end of that scary, you know, month when this might happen. Before that happens, we might have a supply shock. Now, if we do have a supply shock, or do you think we'll have a supply shock? If so, what month do you think this is happening? Is it like one of the next 3 months this year, or is this going to be next year?
Yeah, well, I think we are going to run into some supply. I don't want to call them issues because I think it'll actually be a very good thing for the bull market. Look, we have questions over on our channel all the time. Like, for example, one of them is, Jebb, what happens if everybody is so bullish on Bitcoin that nobody wants to, you know, transact Bitcoin and the liquidity dries up? What happens then? Well, first of all, that's kind of what we're seeing happen right now. You mentioned earlier $750 billion is being held in long-term wallets. I need to remind the audience, $750 billion, since the market's $1 trillion, is 3/4 of the market is being held in long-term wallets. Yep. Everybody's hodling right now. Nobody wants to sell. And we're sitting at a level right now that, frankly, the last 2 or 3 days has been really boring for the price, but we're sitting at a level right now that people dreamed about a year ago. Like, we've had a huge rally, and people need to keep that in mind. I think that a lot of people see what the writing on the wall is, and a conversation we were having before the show started, I was having with CryptoKeeper. One, I do agree there's going to be a giant collapse in our global economy, our global economic system. I just don't know that it's going to be this year or next year. I have no idea, frankly, when it's going to happen, because like you said, Keeper, there are a lot of conversations going on behind the scenes, and I don't have access to those. I don't have a guy that's been in those conversations, so I don't know when we're going to have the whole market and the whole global economy have to restructure itself. It's going to happen eventually, but since I can't really tell when it's going to happen, it would be unwise of me to base my predictions on for the next year on that. But the other thing to keep in mind, and I've talked about this on this show before, is that every single modern technology that gets adopted goes through something called the S-curve of adoption. What does that mean? Well, you saw this with railroads, planes, trains, automobiles. You saw it with internet, indoor plumbing, electricity, cell phones, those big brick phones before you had, you know, smartphones. Every single piece of technology goes through a small, slow period of growth while we're figuring out the technology, we're hammering it out. Some of the early adopters are getting in, and then right around the time you hit 13.5 to 15% adoption by a community, then that's when things go parabolic, and you see this massive run up where people adopt a technology very quickly. And I think that we're getting close to that in Bitcoin and crypto, and these whales realize that. We actually reported this morning on our show that there's a $1.8 billion buy order sitting on an exchange right now, and people are speculating, is this Apple, is this Microsoft? We have no idea who it is, but there's only so many people in the world that can buy $1.8 billion in one order. So I think a lot of these power players realize, one, the global economy is built on a foundation of sand right now. It's a house of cards, And 2, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, DeFi, decentralized applications, NFTs. Not only is currency being revolutionized, so many industries are being revolutionized, and I think they realize that. I'm not very bullish on the next week for Bitcoin, but the next 10 years, I think we're absolutely going to see a supply shock. It's not going to be one event. It's going to be the theme of the next 10 years because people are holding for so long.
Yeah, I would say I'm not that bullish for the next week. We've had a really good first 12 days of the month, but the next 10 weeks, I'll shorten it even more. Now, this might be a troll, man. Now, Jebb, did you go to high school? Joe B said, I went to high school with Jebb. Remember me, Mr. Hemorrhoid Monster with cheese and pickles. Is that ringing a bell, or is that a troll?
I'm pretty sure
cheese
that's
and pickles.
I don't.
Who knows?
I don't. I need a name. I don't.
Who's the weird kid who ate the cheese and pickles?
There were some weird kids I went to high school with. I went to some.
One of their names was Jebb. All right, so we're gonna go to the last. I'm joking, of course. You're probably a Chad. We're gonna go to the last topic here. Why ETH wants to pump? I'm sure you were Chad. Now I'm gonna pull up this chart right quick. Now this is a little bit scary. Now JChains, I'm gonna come to you with this first one. I'm gonna try to get a prediction out of you. This is the ETH Bitcoin chart. Now, a lot of times, I got it up right here, Frank. Now, a lot of times, people, they'll pair things in USD only. But as you start to learn more about crypto, you realize, like, well, if I'm on, swapping on MetaMask, I'm not trying to make more money. I'm trying to make more ETH. And same thing with Bitcoin, with some of these alts. You're not trying to make more money. You're trying to make more Bitcoin. You're trying to get more Satoshis. Now, this is the ETH Bitcoin chart. Now, typically, we're looking back, this part of the year, we got kind of low. But now, we're all the way up to 6%. We never really, we hit around 10% parabolic, above 10% parabolic part of January 2018. Now, right here, this yellow line of this ETH Bitcoin chart is the 200-day moving average. We're starting to dip below it. Now, JChains, I know you like to trade, a little bit of TA here. Does it alarm you that we're dipping below this 200 moving average, 200-day moving average, or do you think like ETH is kind of just sticking with his game plan of popping a month later, and we're fixing to bounce and bounce hard?
Yeah, history repeats itself. We know that, right? So if we follow that method and we kind of just go with what we know and what we've seen, clearly Bitcoin's going to do its thing. It'll cool off, and then it'll be ETH's turn. And that's just how it happens. That's how it's happened in the past. So I'll stick with that prediction and projection only because that's what I know. I don't trade any ETH. Like you said, if I've got ETH on my MetaMask, it's so that I can buy some Pluto Alliance NFTs or something, right?
All right, yeah.
Shameless plug.
Yeah, he gets 2 points for that too.
Nice.
All right. Well,
but no, it doesn't. It doesn't scare me though. I think that it's all baked into the plan, man. This is we know things tend to dip before they rip, and this is probably what you're seeing.
Okay. Now, you see us around the 6%. We're bouncing. It looks like we got almost like 7-8%. We started to creep a little bit higher. We did hit above 10%, but this was years ago. Now, HackCrypto, what direction do you think? Do you think that ETH can one day like have 10% as support, or are we ever just forever going to be, a roughly 6, 7, 5% of a Bitcoin? Is that just Ethereum's future?
So the flippening has been called over the past, 5 or 6 years. People always were saying, oh, this is going to flip Bitcoin. This is going to flip Bitcoin. And I think Ethereum actually has, quite a chance to do it, given I think there's almost 3,000 monthly developers now on Ethereum. It's grown over 200% over the past 3 years in terms of all the developers working on Ethereum. So just the clear methodology of all the VCs on Sand Hill Road follow the developers. If they're all building on Ethereum, that's what's going to really transpire Web3. And I think that is probably going to flip it at some point. And I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for it, but who knows? I think that there's a lot of telltale signs in terms of NFTs being, the media of Web3 and all the building that's taking place with dApps and decentralized organizations like I was talking about earlier. But I'm just super bullish on Ethereum and all the people that I've talked to, the brilliant people that are building on it. They know something. They know where things are moving because they're the ones building it and with the metaverse. And I think that Bitcoin is a fantastic store of value. I've been a Bitcoin bull for 8 years now, and I think that Ethereum is going to rip well beyond it. Maybe that's 20,000, maybe that's 15, 10, I don't know, but it's going to melt faces for sure over the coming months.
Yeah, on the flippening, you know, I do think ETH will flip Bitcoin, not so much on a per coin basis, but as far as the total market cap, I think we're maybe years away, but I do think it's going to happen. Now, we're seeing some interesting data regarding ETH and Bitcoin with the Rothschild Investment Corp. Now, these people, you know, HackCrypto actually brought up a good point. I think the first segment, we were saying, well, how can, you know, this Goldman Sachs or, you know, JP Morgan, they want to buy Bitcoin, everyone's going to be able to see it. Well, there are ways around that. They can buy Grayscale shares and basically hide their transactions, depending if it's private, corporate, you know, at least for, you know, a few months. They can hide this. So previously, they had 13,000 ETH shares with Grayscale. Right now, it's 300,000. So we're seeing a huge increase there. Now, and, you know, actually Bitcoin, you know, dipped like 1 or 2% there. Now, CryptoKeeper, we were talking about whale wallets. What do you think? Now, you know, this is maybe going to bring out some tinfoil people here. What do you think is a better strategy, following whale wallets or Rothschilds?
Oh man, I don't even know where to go with that one. I guess if we
to the kitchen, get some tinfoil.
Yeah, no kidding. I think if we're looking at pure whale wallets, right? We're looking at people that want to have custody of their Bitcoin. We're talking about maybe a crypto purist and they want to have that custody of their Bitcoin. When we get into like the Rothschilds, right? Exactly what you're saying. If they're buying Grayscale, they don't really care whether they are able to move Bitcoin from wallet to they're not interested in what Bitcoin is and what it was created for. They're interested in the monetary gains that they can get, and that's it. So I think that as a whole for the market, I would like to follow the whales, because I think the Rothschilds, though they might have some of those dinner parties that I was talking about earlier on a regular basis and have some great information, I think that the whales long term signify the health of cryptocurrency as a whole. And I think if we follow that and that action, I think we're in a better position than following the Rothschilds, who ultimately are saying, hey, look, I just want exposure to whatever can go up, down, sideways, whatever. Fundamentally, the whales, I believe, are going to give us a better temperature check on what the market is doing as a whole, versus the Rothschilds are just saying, hey, I can make some money on exposure to Bitcoin here. And so, yeah, I'd probably say follow the whales, though that's a toss up for sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up with a around the blockchain question here. I wanted to address Bailey's chat and Twitch. Tell him to wait just a moment. I'm almost done making my tinfoil pirate hat. Sorry, but you know, you can watch it on a replay, but you probably forgot the tinfoil underwear. You forgot about the underwear, Bailey. What are you doing? All right. So last question here. First 12 days of the month, Bitcoin is up about 30%. Ethereum's up about 15%. I'm going to start with CryptoKeeper, go around. What's the better play for the rest of the month? CryptoKeeper, ETH or Bitcoin?
The rest of the month, I think the rest of the month, I'm going with, I'm going to go with Bitcoin the rest of the month.
All right, Bitcoin. JChains. You can't say you can't say KuCoin shares. What's best for the rest of the month?
I sold that. You know that, and you bought my bag. My pick the rest of the month is 20x leverage on Bitcoin all day.
Woo! All right. Bitcoin. HackCrypto. What is a better play for the rest of the month? ETH or Bitcoin?
Definitely Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin for the next couple months. Bitcoin is gonna melt some faces this next couple months here.
All right, and Cal, that's a pretty funny. Whales over reptiles. Okay, that's pretty funny. Jebb, what is the best play for the rest of the month? Bitcoin or ETH?
I think you're all wrong. It's sheep. No, I'm kidding. It's Ethereum. And the reason I think it's Ethereum is because Ethereum's in a cup and handle right now. It's got an inverse head and shoulders pattern, and there's a downtrending level of resistance on Ethereum US dollars that I think Ethereum is about to break. I think Ethereum is going to be breaking up towards, let me check my chart. I have a price target of $4,600 in the next 30 days. So I think it's going to outperform Bitcoin in that time.
Jebb. So the only reason that I think that's going to be that would possibly be correct is because of the law of diminishing returns. I think that we literally just have it doesn't need to make as big of a move to validate what you're saying. I don't disagree. I think it is a toss up, but I think that still Bitcoin is going to lead this charge. Let's leave it at that.
I think he's going to lead it. I'm just, that's true. Yeah.
All right. You know what? CryptoKeeper stole it from you there at the end. You know, maybe I sandbagged a little too hard there, but I'm in agreement with Jebb. I'm in agreement with Jebb. Personally, I think Ethereum's the better play. So we got 3 saying Bitcoin, 2 saying Ethereum. I mean, we will see. Maybe we can all be on the same episode towards the end of the month, and then we'll, I don't know, someone's shaving an eyebrow. But CryptoKeeper, obviously, it'll be me. Now, CryptoKeeper, you won. You got 30 seconds. Go ahead and leave us with a parting thought here, man.
All right. As always, thank you guys for having me on. I just want to remind the total audience that these assets like Shiba that everyone wants to ask about on every live stream that we have, they are a get in and a get out. They are not a long-term hold. You need to understand that these are a gamble. They are not a long-term investment. As long as you understand that, great. If you're looking for more education, check us out, debatecrypto.academy. We'd love to have you. And Jebb, 1-0, my friend. 1-0.
All right. We got a little beef heat now. All right,
Let's
links
see if the
for
ref will actually ref it right.
Links for all the channels in the description. Check it out. We'll be back tomorrow. I believe Ben will be on. So that's all we got time for today, BitSquad. Easy out.